Hello, this short video is titled Voting, the State of the Culture is the Responsibility of the Church. And we're going to appeal to Charles Finney for some thoughts on this. He is an evangelist and a preacher and the leader of something called the Benevolent Empire in the middle 1800s. He also wrote extensively on revival, and he said revival comes when Christians are involved in being salt and light to culture. Well, Charles Finney and others became convinced that the gospel was meant by God to do more than to get people in a right relationship with Him. It was also to be a positive influence in transforming society. Church leaders and influential Christian business leaders organized thousands of societies that touched every phase of American life: slavery, women's rights, alcoholism, moral reform, prison reform, education, character development, spiritual growth, and even world peace. By the mid-1830s, the total annual income of this network was $130 million, which was equal to the budget of the entire federal government at that time. As this wave of spiritual renewal and social impact established itself in the land, the vision was that each Christian's obligation before God was to aim at being useful in the highest degree possible. It was in this environment that Charles Finney had these words on the state of the culture being the responsibility of the church. If there is a decay of conscience, the pulpit is responsible for it. If the public press lacks moral discernment, the pulpit is responsible for it. If the church is degenerate and worldly, the pulpit is responsible for it. If the world loses its interest in Christianity, the pulpit is responsible for it. If Satan rules in the halls of our legislation, the pulpit is responsible for it. If our politics become so corrupt that the very foundations of our government are ready to fall away, the pulpit is responsible for it. Pastors, these are challenging words. You are a steward of the pulpit that God has given to you. Are you being a faithful steward of everything that God has in mind for you to say from that pulpit? This is Christian Civics Training. Thanks for listening.